thank you for joining me. I'm joined today by 𝙩𝙤𝙤𝙢𝙦 from Agent Extra. How are you doing, Jack?
Doing good, thanks. It's Friday, so feeling good. How are you?
Fantastic. Well, we are Friday, but it's worth mentioning we're getting towards the end of April. And I think
Indeed.
what's most topical at the end of April right now in the marketplace is the fact that agents are desperately scrambling for instructions. All the press reports are that at the moment instruction levels for agents are at an all-time low, but buyer demand seems to be absolutely through the roof. So we need your help today, Jack, because agents out there need ways of rustling up instructions. But I think it's also fair to say that the agents at the moment are rushed off their feet. They're extremely busy. And so prospecting, which is something that everybody should be doing, if you listen to my talk with Stephen Brown the other day, he reckons that we should all be spending an hour a day prospecting. But the reality of it is that we're all very busy trying to progress sales, trying to look after our clients. We're doing viewings, we're in, we're out, we're all over the place. And the truth is that that discipline is not something that every agent has. But that doesn't matter too much when Agent Extra are around.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, prospecting is all we do. It's all me and my business partner Danny have ever done for estate agents. We used to work for estate agents from 2006, and our the way we kind of grew up in estate agency was by doing database phone calls. That was spent all day on the phone calling the database, and there are so many instructions waiting to be spoken to that you probably already have. And I think the key to successful prospecting isn't deciding you need instructions tomorrow and starting today. You've got to have started yesterday if you want the instructions coming on in a month, 2 months, 3 months. So what we do for agents is we generate leads through social media. At the moment, I think social media is the cheapest way to get the most leads. There are many other ways to get leads, absolutely, and I think you should be looking in different places all the time. But until someone shows me another way, social media is where we're getting the bulk of our leads for our estate agents. We then nurture those leads for you, so we set up 12-month long, very personalized email campaigns that will get sent to leads. Different emails if they're a vendor, different leads if they're a landlord, different emails if someone has said they might move in 3 months compared to an email journey if someone says they might move in 12 months. So
it's all bespoke, designed to suit that particular journey.
That journey, and it's also obviously in the branding of the agent. You know, your signature's at the bottom. We send out ebooks. We encourage people to get in touch about booking valuations when there's a change in the market. So for instance, when the stamp duty holiday got extended, we then included an email that went out straight away to anyone that was in the journey. So we try and be as current as possible, and it's an effort-free way of staying in touch with people over a long period of time. And how many times have you remembered to do something, thought of an email, and then gone back to it? It does happen. And it also means if you call someone in 3 months and you haven't spoken to them before, they already know who you are because they've got 6 emails with your name on it in their inbox.
That's the secret to good, I think, good prospecting and good lead generation is that you're filling the gap between the two with constant engagement. And so most agents who don't have a keep in touch policy, well, this is a very lovely way of keeping in touch because you're always front and center in front of that client. And it means when you do eventually speak to them, it's not a cold call at all. It's an extremely warm and welcoming call, isn't it?
Absolutely. An old boss of mine used to hammer home. He said, "Constant contact creates clients," and that was his
great.
motto. Yeah, and it's absolutely true. You know, you remember things, and that's why you go back to them. An additional service that we do is we can also completely take on the calling of your leads as well. So we can either go into your existing database, call any old lead that you haven't been in touch with on your behalf, literally as if we were sat in the office, figure out when they're looking to move, why they might move, and if they're looking to move soon, book you in for evaluation. If they're looking to move in the future and now's not the right time, we'll stay in touch with them, leave notes in the CRM. And we will also handle any inbound leads that we generate. We will do the phone calls instantly and try and convert them into appointments.
So that's superb, really. It's effectively a white labeled service, isn't it? Where the client themselves will have no idea that they're not actually speaking to somebody from that company, because you are representing that company very professionally, and you're hoping to sort of be able to directly book appointments into that agent's diary to keep them busy. It's like having a staff member that's not going to take up extra space at the Christmas party.
Exactly, those expensive Christmas parties. Absolutely. And I've got a couple of stats actually, which you might find interesting. So we do find that when estate agents handle their own leads, sometimes because of the hectic work schedules, they're not always followed up in the quickest time. So we ran a number of campaigns in the last 2 weeks for a franchise group. We've generated 219 leads in 2 weeks, and 20 of those we've tracked as being booked in for valuations, but by the agent. So that's about just over 9% of the leads that we generated turn into valuations that same month they came in, which is
pretty good going, isn't it? That's really good.
For one office that we actually did the phone calls for over the last 30 days, we generated 24 leads. We booked 7 of those into valuations, which is just under 30%. 2 of them instructed, and he's already let one out. We have stats to back up what we do. We've got reviews on Kerfuffle. So check out Kerfuffle.
Definitely, all the details of Agent Extra's offering will be on the Kerfuffle page, and I'm going to put a link to it at the bottom of the screen roundabout now. But that's superb. I mean, that's a 30-day process. That agent's already putting money in the bank because he's let one and effectively moved the tenant in already. That's a superb return and quite a quick turnaround, really, isn't it?
Very quick. I had a review yesterday with him. I was really super pleased to hear that. It was great to hear.
That is fantastic. That's fantastic. So in terms of who the right fit is for Agent Extra, is there a sort of agent that you prefer to work with? Is there a sort of system that you think you're more suitable for, or is it open to everybody?
It's open to everybody. We work from completely cold start, self-employed estate agents, through to franchisers, through to independents. Our database calling works if you've got an old database. It works if you have a big database. So independents. The only people we don't really work for are people like Countrywide, Connells, because they have their own head offices. They basically do what we do in-house.
Right.
And essentially what we're providing is a head office prospecting service for the independent agents that don't have the Countrywide infrastructure behind them to employ people to do this. So
that's superb, because it allows those independent agents to compete pretty much with established corporates. When it comes to scale prospecting, you've got something that you can rely on there. And if your staff are busy, or if you're worried about their performance, well, Agent Extra's got your back, and you're working through those leads, because inside that database, I don't know how many times I've heard Stephen Brown say this, but inside that database is gold. It really is, isn't it? Each contact is a potential new client.
Yeah, absolutely. If you think about the fees you can make from just selling one property, putting resources into cultivating that database, it should be a no-brainer. And I think Stephen is being kind when he says you should dedicate 1 hour a day.
Yeah.
You should be doing it for 3 or 4 hours a day, really, if you could. But that comes from either employing someone or outsourcing it and having someone dedicated.
Yeah, that's superb. And I think at this time, with the frenzy that's going on in the market, I mean, I can vouch for this. And in our agency, it is absolutely, if I were to turn around to my guys and go, spend your free time prospecting, they'd look at me like I just landed from Mars, and they'd say, what kind of free time do you think we've got? So really, an outsourced service is not only taking the pressure off your staff, but it's keeping, because let's face it, a lot of agencies, a lot of business owners know that they should be prospecting, and it's that guilty feeling in the pit of your stomach that you've not done enough of it. Well, this is a way of getting around that very quickly.
Yeah, and I sometimes find, look, prospecting isn't everyone's idea of a good time, let's be honest. But also, I think when you're in an office that is low on stock, the way that you prospect, sometimes you want results straight away. You know, you want to do a call out, you want to book valuations, you want to get an instruction. It doesn't work that well like that. You have to start laying up leads for the future. If someone says to us, I'm going to move in 6 months, brilliant, great. Why? Tell me about why you might move. Let's stay in touch with you. Yeah. To a negotiator who needs to hit a valuation target that day, that's terrible news. They might not even, you know. So
it's about long term. If you've got a short term vision for prospecting, you're going to be a little bit disappointed. But if you have a longer term plan, because you know what you sow today, you're going to reap in say 6 months' time. That's the way to do it. And you know what? If you read the pundits, and one of the more famous industry pundits will be Christopher Watkin, but one of the things that he goes on about is that agents at the moment are very busy bringing in the crop, but they have not thought about planting and sowing those seeds for the future. So anybody out there that is looking to still be around in 6 months' time and to have plentiful business leads and fresh valuations, I think that you could do a lot worse than speak to Agent Extra. Jack, thank you very much for joining us this morning. And have a great weekend. Enjoy the sunshine.
You too. Thanks a lot. Bye.